Back ringside here. Again, it's Brian Kenny with Steve Cunningham and Joe Goosen. Lennox Lewis will join us later. And there is young Vito Mielnicki Jr., 3-0, all 3 wins by knockout. He is 17 years old, a high school senior. He'll be going up against Preston Wilson of Parkersburg, West Virginia. He is 27 years old, slight height advantage. You might notice Mielnicki is 5'10". He's grown. He's 17, Joe. He can grow.
Right. You know what happens. So when you're 17, every month you grow another inch.
There you go. In December, 5'9", so he's a welterweight. Good-looking kid, 147 amateur wins. Ready to go here in Philadelphia. Back to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, from the Leocor Center here in Philadelphia, Premier Boxing Champions presents our next attraction, brought to you by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Judging at ringside, David Braslow, Adam Friscia, and Kevin Morgan. All right, fans, here we go. 4 rounds of boxing in a welterweight attraction. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, and joining us from Parkersburg, West Virginia. He weighed in at 146 pounds with a record of 6 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the Italian stallion, Preston Wilson. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner in this 4-round attraction, wearing white trunks with blue trim, hailing from Roseland, New Jersey. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 146 pounds. He is undefeated in his young campaign in the ring with a record of 3 wins, no losses. All 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the undefeated young boxing sensation known as White Magic. Introducing Vito Mielnicki Jr. And our referee in charge of the action now to give instructions, Sean Clark.
All right, fellas, y'all had y'all instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up.
Well, you could hear the New Jersey fans driving down just a few hours south to get here in Philadelphia. Mielnicki, of course, is A-side. Preston Wilson, though, tall kid, Joe Goosen, southpaw. Can he present some problems here?
Well, he could. I mean, if he fights a real smart fight. But he has been stopped before. And he's won his last 2 and won by knockout. But I don't know, this is going to be the best fighter he's ever fought in his career.
He says conditioning is his strength. He'll need it tonight. Vito Mielnicki Jr. in the white trunks, the blue trim, and Preston Wilson out of West Virginia in the black trunks with the white. And they will fight 4 rounds. So a feeling out process. Steve, do you remember early on what it was like when you're not sure what the other guy will bring? It's not like you're watching these other guys on TV, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you do exactly what Vito's doing. You pop the jab, keep your distance, see what the guy's going to do, then you make your move.
Now, I will say, Wilson's only got 1 knockout, so this is only a 4-round fight. And I'm convinced that you kind of got to win every round in a 4-round fight. And that's what he's got to do right there. He's got to put a little bit of pressure on, make something happen. This guy's not a big puncher. And, Mielnicki is. So I think he should go in there and maybe start a little bit of a rumble.
Good left hand there by Wilson. Caught Mielnicki as he came in.
These are the awkward times in the fight. You know, the first round, first few minutes, first few moments, he's awkward, catches him with a nice little shot. But Vito's got an amateur background that is beautiful, and that's going to show throughout this whole entire fight.
Yeah, no doubt, Steve. 147 and 24 as an amateur, 4-time junior national Golden Gloves champion. The difference, though, I'd say just watching this as a fight, he's fighting a man. You know, it's a 27-year-old man.
Exactly. The 10 years means something in strength, big time.
And it looks like Wilson is in really good shape. You know, he knows he's on TV. He doesn't want to get knocked out. And he's only got 4 rounds to go. So I think he's going to try his darndest to survive this fight. Obviously, he's going to try to win it. But ultimately, it may be that he's just trying to survive it if Mielnicki really puts on the pressure and he feels his power.
You know, matchmaking is an art form, Joe. And you know, Mielnicki and his camp, they know this is a 17-year-old kid. There's a long way to go. You want to get the right type of opponent, but you don't want to get a pushover either. So you want a guy like this who can present some problems.
Well, if you're in the corner, you don't mind a pushover when your kid's 17 and he's only got 3 fights.
Body shot by Mielnicki, comes up top with the hook. Nicely done. Here in the final minute of round number 1. Again, Vito Mielnicki Jr., he was on the undercard of Wilder and Ortiz, so he got a second-round knockout in that fight. He said when it went back on Monday, he fought on a Saturday night, MGM Grand, and guys, he was back Monday morning for the announcements when they said, we got a winner. Vito won over the weekend.
Awesome. Wilson stressed about taking Vito into deep waters. 4 rounds, I don't know how deep the waters can get.
No, it's very shallow. But, you know, the thing is that being a left-hander and this movement right here, it can stop a fight from really happening for that Mielnicki really wants.
You're right.
So he could probably stretch this out unless he gets clipped real good somehow.
Well, a mobile southpaw is a threat.
Final seconds, round number 1. Preston Wilson having a decent first round. Bit of work here for Vito Mielnicki, 17-year-old kid, and we'll be back in Philadelphia in a second. Is that Nick Bonaconti? No, that's Joe Goosen.
Remember Nick? He was a handsome guy.
Okay, what? Yeah, that's why I say, Joe, of course.
I know, thank you.
1970. Look at you blocking for Red Grange.
Joe.
There we go. That's the money shot right there.
And there's the guy that I was just banging up against right there. Verdugo Hills High School.
Back here in round number 3, and Joe Goose and Steve Cunningham with Brian Kenny. Lennox Lewis will join us later. Joe, they wanted to go rounds, right? They wanted young Vito to get some rounds in, and he's getting rounds in tonight.
Yeah, and I just talked about it with Steve a little bit. Is that, you know, it even as an advanced pro, sometimes when you're in there with the southpaw, it takes 3-4 rounds to get used to the rhythm and distance. And, you know, in a short fight like this, sometimes you don't ever catch up to him. You may beat him, but you don't necessarily catch up to him to hurt him, knock him down, and take him out, and keep that knockout streak going.
And again, you have to be careful in a 4-round fight. Let's go to Larry Hazard, who's our unofficial scorer. Larry, what do you think so far?
Well, so far, Vito is pitching a shutout. I have him 20-18. Okay, you can see his amateur career is really showing here, combinations. And I think the guy's just in there to get the rounds in, stay out of the way of the big punch. So Vito's ahead right now, 20-18.
Larry, thank you. I was wondering maybe round 1, possibly. Then you see the punch stats, and you're thinking maybe not so much. It's competitive, but Mielnicki seems to be winning this fight.
But then we also know, I shouldn't have to tell you this, or I don't have to.
Weird things can happen. Is that what you're about to say?
Oh, weird things, but punch stats don't mean you're winning the round. We spoke about this yesterday.
No question. No question. It can be indicative of the fight, or perhaps not.
Well, hey, depending on the judges now. Don't forget that.
That's another thing. Although you would think, right, Mielnicki is going to get a benefit of the doubt. Now, you know, judges just looking at things and knowing who A's side is. Not that that means anything, but you're watching a more cultured fighter as well.
Wilson's getting creative. He's trying to make some room, make something happen, shift the shoulders, but he's not really landing clean punches, man.
Good combination there by Mielnicki, and then Wilson had to tie him up.
It doesn't look like Wilson is really out to win this.
Right.
It looks like, you know, Vito is really putting the pressure on. He's trying to score a knockout. I guarantee you he wants to keep his knockout streak alive, and so does the corner. I know I would.
But remember, yesterday Vito said he wanted to get the rounds in.
Okay.
Somebody's got to make him get the rounds in.
How about 3 3/4 rounds?
I'll take it.
Okay, right. I don't want a complete 4, though.
That would please everybody. But he's going to have to work for it here. Good combination punching by Mielnicki, again in the white trunks, and Preston Wilson in the black. Again, Mielnicki, a 17-year-old high school senior. I was about to say it's hard to project. Joe, can you project what this kid might look like at 22? It's 5 years away.
Funny, Steve and I just talked about that. We both said it's a long road. That's number 1. Stop. He is definitely a prospect. You call a prospect a blue chip prospect. But it's a long road.
It is. I believe, you know, in this position, they shouldn't rush it. You know, take it a little slower than normal. You know, with a kid like this.
This one will go the distance.
No, don't step to your left. Just push the right hand straight, right? And you're going the right hand. The looping right hand is going to come. Okay? You got me? It's going to come after you keep getting him leaning. All right?
Muhammad Abdul Salam there in the corner for Vito Mielnicki.
Well, we didn't hear everything he said, but I can guarantee you he wants a knockout by the way he was talking, his attitude and body language. All right?
Round number 4. Now, I said as we stepped away that this will go the distance. No, what I should have said was this one will go into the 4th round.
Yeah.
Final round here. And the chant goes up for Vito Mielnicki.
He brought that fan base with him from Jersey. It's a short ride, man.
A couple of hundred people at the very least coming down here, even with the bad weather. He's looked good so far, but again, made to work. against the 27-year-old Preston Wilson from West Virginia.
Listen, at this level of your career, at Vito's career, you want knockouts here. His trainer's right to push for the knockout. Even though we're getting some rounds in, Wilson's looking decent, we still want to get the knockout. Why? Because we are a step above Wilson.
Good combination there by Mielnicki. You can see the right hand and the hook very fluid. Wilson smiles back at him, right hand to the body, followed up by Mielnicki. They said to us this week that they wanted Vito, young Vito, to work on his balance, keeping his hands in the right place. Are we getting that, Steve? Your thoughts?
Yes, we are. I mean, look at this. Good body attacks on the inside, gets out, scores. This kid has the package to just take him slow walk him.
And I know, Joe, you hate southpaws. I mean, you loathe southpaws.
Oh, look, I have an old saying. I love to train them. I hate to fight them because they do this. I've had guys that have gone 8-9-0 and they throw a southpaw in, and all of a sudden, you're 9-0 with 8 knockouts.
It's that big a deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the mirror opposite image of what you normally see. Everything you work on in the gym normally, counters and what have you, work off of right-handed fighters because you normally fight, 9 out of 10 guys are going to be right-handers.
Is it that much? I mean, 200 amateur fights, you don't think you had any kind of steady diet of
this is the pros. It's a little bit different game here.
Final half minute, or half of this 4th round.
Remember, in the amateurs, it's not about knockouts. In the pro, it really is.
Able to touch his face there. Mielnicki gets a shot in, a right hand going hard to the body, and follows up with the hook. I like the way that hook is automatic after the right hand.
Exactly. I wrote down from the press yesterday. Mielnicki is confident and he's mature in his confidence. You see that in his combinations, man. He's going to the body, left hook, right hand upstairs. Then he goes to the jab, back downstairs with 2 body shots. That's maturity in boxing, period.
And on top of that, I think going back to the southpaw's point, it looks like Wilson just wants to get this 4 rounds in and say he didn't get stopped by Mielnicki. I can guarantee it.
And that's a victory for some guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the corner, too, from Mielnicki, they also said, look, we want him to stay cool when he gets hit. He's kind of a tiger. He wants to answer everything, and they wanted him to be calm. He's had a few shots come his way.
Well, that happens when you do the 6, 8, 10 rounders. Right now, this is a 4-round fight. You got to get it done in a short swath of time.
Now, final seconds here, round number 4. Again, Vito Mielnicki looking to get to 4-0. Throwing the right hand to the body, and Wilson on his bike, and he does all 4 rounds, and Mielnicki will go for the first time as a professional to the judges. Nice performance. What did you think?
Oh yeah, no. What he was in there against, he was in with a very tall. I think that guy is more than 1 inch taller than Mielnicki. Number 1. Number 2, he was in great shape. Number 3, he was determined not to get knocked out, and he was determined to finish the fight.
And a southpaw, which everybody hates.
And he was fleet of foot, and he was pretty defensive minded. It's a tough, tall order to knock out a guy like that.
Yeah, I'm watching Wilson after the bell. Now we all know he lost, but he's very happy. He's happy he didn't get stopped.
Right.
This was the goal, to come here to go to a decision and not get stopped.
And Steve, I said it before, making a good account of himself. Like he's B-side, but he came in shape, presented some problems against the prospect.
And really, that's good for the team. Even though Vito won, some stuff we can work on. We can turn up here, we can do this.
Vito said he had a great Christmas. He gets paid now, so he got nice presents for his brothers and sisters. That works out for them. Again, we went 4 rounds here. That is 17-year-old high school senior Vito Mielnicki of North Caldwell, New Jersey. Finishing up 4 rounds with Preston Wilson, but he's going to have to go to the judges. We'll have that when we return in Philadelphia. But it's Vito Mielnicki of New Jersey, still in his senior year in high school here, trying to go 4-0. He'll go to the judges, but he looks sharp against Preston Wilson tonight. So back here to Liacouras Center. Again, this is where Temple basketball plays. And we are leading up to a world championship fight. That's coming up a little later on. Again, Julian Williams. But first, a Big Ten doubleheader tips off Thursday. Minnesota battling number 21 Ohio State. And then number 15 Michigan State faces Indiana. All the action 6 Eastern here on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. There's White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr. Again, David Chase went to his high school, West Essex High School. That's where Tony Soprano supposedly lived. And here, throwing the leather, is Vito Mielnicki.
This is why I'm a fan of Vito Mielnicki. He goes to the body, steps in, goes to the body, back upstairs. He's a student of the game. You can see this. The amateur career has shown up in the professional career, and it's only a matter of time.
No, you're right. Now, that got a little rough right in there with their heads. And of course, Sean Clark, the referee, I thought did a great job tonight. And they bumped heads there again. But Mielnicki throws those little short combinations which really suit him real well. He did get caught with one little lead left hand as he came in a little wide with his right. But other than that, it was a very good, for a 17-year-old kid,
17.
give me a break. This kid's going somewhere as long as he stays on track, stays true to the sport, and listens to his coaches.
See the copy box numbers right there, wide in favor of Vito Mielnicki Jr. And you see the punches landed, body shots. Mielnicki going to the body very well. Again, 17 years old. Again, he's 5'10" now, still fighting as a welterweight. And he's about just 2 hours away from the fans. You got several hundred fans coming down. There they are from New Jersey. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon.
Well, fans, after 4 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. All 3 scored about the same, 40-36. All 3 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr.